Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. I'm just going to jump right into it because we have a lot to go over. I'm going to be sharing with you my entire eyeshadow collection. These are going to actually be eyeshadow palettes, I should say. Palettes that are larger. They have more than 4 or 5 shades in them. We're going to be looking at everything from drugstore pricing all the way up to luxury pricing. I have all of these palettes laid out in front of me. Some of you might think, well, that's not a lot. Some of you might think, holy shit, you have way too much eyeshadow. I am on the side of holy shit, I have too much eyeshadow. So I do try to give a lot away. I have given a lot away. 99% of this I have purchased myself. Some of them were sent to me. I will tell you which ones were, but most of all these were purchased by me myself. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. I do want to start off with my favorites pile first. So the pile that I'm going to start with are the palettes that I totally love. I feel like they're a staple in my collection. I don't know how I would live without them. The first one I want to give love to and what I have on my eyes right now is the colored Raine Queen of Hearts eyeshadow palette. This palette is breathtaking. It's not even stunning. It's not even beautiful. It is just like in a league of its own. There's not even a word to describe it. Here are what the shadows look like in here. Oh my God. If you love warm tones, berry tones, neutral looks, brighter looks, you will love this palette. The formula in this is outstanding. Like I said, in a league of its own. I don't have very many shadows that perform like this. These are absolutely beautiful. I just want to kind of swatch one for you. I'm going to show you the shade Royal Highness. This is probably my favorite shade in the entire palette. Like, are you kidding me? Look at that. These metallics are just so beautiful, so rich, so buttery, so pigmented. It's effortless. This palette is fantastic. Beautiful shadows, beautiful formula, totally underrated. I think more channels need to be talking about this. Moving on to another mind-blowing formula. This is from Pat McGrath. This is the Mothership Sublime Bronze Ambition eyeshadow palette. First of all, let's talk about this packaging. Stunning. I love it. It's so artistic and inspiring and unique when you open it up. This was a spendy one. This is a 6-pan shadow palette for $55. Yeah, so it ain't cheap, but I'm telling you again, the formula is next to none. Let me swatch this gold shade for you. Are you joking me? So beautiful. Again, buttery smooth, mattes that blend like a dream. The metallics are just like out of this world as far as the formula goes. The color selection in this one especially is just, it's perfect. I mean, it's the perfect lineup of shades. You can go smoky, you can go everyday, you can go bold. You can pretty much do a lot with just these 6 shadows. I would love to try some of the larger Pat McGrath shadows, but am I ready to spend $125? Not quite yet. All right, moving on to the Too Faced Gingerbread Spice palette. I did a review on this recently. Now, I do want to show you guys something, and I noticed this after I ordered my colored Raine palette. I'll put these guys side by side. Do you not see the resemblance? These are pretty much the same palette. Obviously, the Too Faced palette has a lot more shades in it, but they are so ridiculously similar, if not almost the exact same. It's absolutely insane. The Queen of Hearts palette did come out way before the Gingerbread Spice palette, so I don't know if there was some inspiration there, and not saying that Too Faced copied them or anything, because come on, there are only so many eyeshadow shades. But it's kind of funny because when I got my colored Raine palette in the mail, it's kind of like, oh, I already have these shades. Now, I will say that the colored Raine kind of knocks Too Faced out of the park when it comes to formula-wise. This palette is stunning. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. But formula-wise, the colored Raine palette is just a tad bit better. I even have a hard time saying it because I love this Gingerbread Spice palette so much, but I have to be honest. The next one is an OG. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one because everybody knows all about this palette, but look at these colors. You've got warm tones, cool tones. This is just like an everyday neutral lover's dream, which is the types of shades that I love. I can't get enough. I love it. This shade down here, Chocolate Ganache, I think it's called, or Hope Chocolate, Creme Brulee, Salted Caramel is a longtime favorite. This guy right here. Smells like chocolate. I've had this palette for quite some time. I am fearing the day that it goes bad because I'll have to buy a new one, and I'm also fearing the day that they ever get rid of it. So Too Faced, if for some crazy reason you're watching this, which you're probably not, please do not ever get rid of the original Chocolate Bar palette because it is too good. All right, moving on, the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. This palette has a special place in my heart. It really does inspire me, and it really spoke to me on a lot of different levels. Not gonna get all mushy gushy, but yeah. But these shades, again, a warm tone lover's dream. I love the blue pops of color down here. This palette is so versatile. Really, if you don't have a ton of money, you're not a makeup enthusiast, or you're not into collecting eyeshadow palettes and you just kind of want something that's one and done, this palette is the way to go because you pretty much have everything that you need and the formula is fantastic. You get this giant mirror, the packaging is sturdy, you could travel with this, it's got beautiful packaging, and it's a solid, reliable formula. Last in the favorites pile is going to be the Desert Oasis palette from BH Cosmetics. BH Cosmetics, I'd like to know what kind of trickery you're performing in your factories because your palettes are stunning, and for the price, I'm like, how do you do it? There's no parabens in their formula. This palette is so beautiful. Again, another one and done palette. If you are on a budget and you would like something that gives you your neutrals, your highlights, a ton of different options, pops of color, this palette is under $25 full price. It's usually on sale. You've got a giant mirror, beautiful packaging as well, and it is a total win. If you have not tried out this formula, you need to try this palette. It is that good. All right, moving on. I have to give some love to it. I know that there was a lot of controversy around these palettes, but I love them. They worked for me. I did a review on them. I'm in love. The Morphe Jacklyn Hill The Vault collection. I have all 4 palettes. I have the Vault, obviously, but these palettes are stunning. I love them. Are they the best formula in the world? No. But are they beautiful? Do they blend well? Are they pigmented? Yes, they get the job done. I really, really, really like this collection. What I like most about it is that each palette has a theme. So for example, the Armed and Gorgeous palette, and I like that each palette has a mirror as well. These are all going to be like kind of like warm toned, orangey kind of shades. If you go into Bling Boss, it's all going to be kind of purples, pinks. Dark Magic is going to be your blues, your greens, and then of course the Ring the Alarm is going to be like those reds, those deeper browns, golds, that sort of thing. So I really like this collection. I really hope if there was inconsistencies that they figured it out because it's kind of a shame. It's a really, really good palette. All right, moving on. I recently got this palette in my Try Beauty box. This is the Meet Matchmaker palette. This palette was decent. It blended. It had some pretty good shimmers in it. The mattes were a little bit on the dry side. I've been really wanting to try out the balm a little bit more. I do like the way that the colors are set up in this palette. I like the color story. It makes it really easy, especially for someone who isn't really well versed in makeup to kind of figure out what goes with what. But it's just not my favorite formula. I honestly don't see myself really reaching for this. I have so many other palettes that I'm probably going to end up giving this one away because it's just not my favorite. The Nightingale palette from Pretty Vulgar. This is another beauty box subscription palette. This one is really pretty. This is going to be like your cool tone smoky eyes. Again, not my favorite. Some of the shades in here are really, really beautiful. I do enjoy them. But again, talking about my favorite palettes here, it's kind of hard to even hold on to this because again, I don't find myself reaching for it. I have other palettes that just have a better formula, a better blend. A couple of the shades in that palette were a little bit patchy. Again, I just don't see myself reaching for this one time and time again. The Crown Pro palette, I don't even remember the name. I think this is called like Fuego or something. Beautiful color story. Love the warm tone shades. Love the mix of mattes and metallics in here. This one was another one that came in BoxyCharm. It was okay. I haven't honestly touched it since I did the unboxing that featured this palette. So there's that. Enough said. A couple of palettes here from Bad Habit. I have the Athena and the Aphrodite palette, or Aphrodite, I should say, not Aphrodite. It's Aphrodite. These palettes are beautiful. I did separate reviews on both of them. First impressions, they do wear very well. The shade selection is fantastic. The packaging is great. You get a huge mirror. I absolutely love these palettes. And now that's a nice thing about doing these kind of collection videos is that it really gives you a chance to look at what you have. And now I'm inspired to kind of go into these a little bit more because these are beautiful. The formula is stunning. I think these are probably the 2 best palettes that I have tried from Bad Habit and that I've gotten off Shop Hush. I absolutely love them. I have the Laura Lee Nudie Patootie palette. I know that there's a stigma around Laura Lee, but this palette is in my collection, so I have to mention it. I really, really actually enjoyed this palette when I did a review on this. I don't even know if this is for sale anymore. Can you still buy this? I don't know. I'm not even going to get into the drama. This is all about the makeup. Have your opinions if you will, but nonetheless, the palette is really stunning, and it's kind of a shame that things things went the way they did, but the makeup is beautiful. I love this palette. It is really stunning. I love the shade options. That's all we're gonna say about that one. All right, moving on, another BoxyCharm, Alomar Cosmetics. This is the Reina del Caribe Eyeshadow Palette Volume 1. This palette is adorable. I love the packaging. It's like a little book, and the colors on the inside are stunning as well. Now this one I have not had a chance to reach into again since I did a review on it, and I really need to play with this one more. The colors were super blendable, or actually the formula is blendable. The metallics are intense, insane. She really killed it with this one. I can't wait to see what Volume 2 looks like, but this is a solid palette. Not much to say. It speaks for itself. It's just a really good palette. Now these two palettes I have been meaning to do a review on my channel because they are insane for the price. So these are actually from Juno Co. They are a very affordable makeup website. They feature stuff from different brands, their own brands. They are famous for, I don't know if it's in front of me right now, their microfiber blender, beauty blender sponge, which I did use today and I loved. These two palettes right here, this is the Peach Dream palette by Prism Makeup. This is a direct dupe for the Just Peachy Mattes palette from Too Faced, and it performs the exact same. I did test it myself. Again, I meant to make a video. It was out of focus the whole time, so I never really went back to refilming it again. I used the Just Peachy Mattes on one eye and then this palette on the other, and I couldn't tell the difference. I asked my fiance if he could tell the difference. I mean, maybe it's a bad example because he's a little bit clueless when it comes to my makeup and things I put on my face. He couldn't tell. I wore it to work. No one could tell there. It was pretty mind-blowing. This is from Mad Love. This is the Summer Nights palette. This is another super affordable palette from Juno Co. First off, look at these colors in here. And again, I haven't had a chance to do a dedicated video, but this is a beautiful palette and the formula is stunning as well. Look at that purple down there. Oh, absolutely love it. It's really cool. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see a video on these two palettes because they're pretty badass. Let's talk about some Colourpop. I have, let's see, 6 palettes from Colourpop right here. I have a little bit of an obsession. I did have even more than this, but again, I have given some away. I've got Element of Surprise, the My Little Pony palette, which I don't even think you can get this one anymore. Dream Street from Kathleen Lights, love that palette. The Zodiac palette with their collaboration, another one with Kathleen Lights, love that one as well. This is probably my favorite out of all of them, is the Give It To Me Straight palette. This color story is just so romantic, so beautiful. It's the best. I love it. I went through a phase where this was literally the only eyeshadow palette I used on a day-to-day basis. Absolutely stunning. Before this one came along, and before Dream Street came along, the I Think I Love You palette was my favorite. I brought this to New York with me last fall, and again, it was like the only palette that I used. Colourpop's formula is fantastic. It is a complete steal for the price. Again, made in the USA, manufactured in the USA. I don't know how they do it or how they keep their prices so low. They're featured in Ulta now. They were in Sephora for a short period of time. But I love, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with Colourpop. They're probably my favorite brand. Moving on, this guy, I don't know why I can't seem to get rid of. Well, actually, I do know why. When I decided to embark on this whole beauty guru YouTube journey, this was kind of the first palette that I used to create a look that I posted on Instagram. Now, the Urban Decay Naked palette, the original, RIP. That palette is long gone out of my collection, unfortunately. I had it forever, but this was like the second palette that I got. This was the largest palette I had ever had, and I was kind of disappointed in it. I tried to use it as much as I could. I've talked about this in my original eyeshadow palette collection, and I kept saying I was going to, a collection video, I speak too fast, kept saying that I was going to get rid of this and I was going to declutter it, and I just never did. I love these metallics, but again, I have metallics like this in other palettes, and they're just as good. I just don't find myself reaching for this large palette just for these 4 shades right here. These shades just kind of read a little bit muddy on the lid, at least for me. They blend beautifully. This palette smells like vanilla. It's amazing. This row here, these lighter shades, this is probably the only row I really like out of the entire palette. They are beautiful base shades and they blend really well. But overall, the palette, I honestly haven't reached for this to use in probably over a year. I'm going to be honest with you. I wish I could let it go, but it's just kind of nostalgic and it just hangs out in my collection. A few other palettes from Shop Hush, Bad Habit. I have the Inferno palette, the Aura palette, and the Retro Love palette. Now, I have not played with either of these right here. The Inferno palette is supposed to be a dupe for the Naked Heat palette from Urban Decay. I love these shades, and these are right up my alley, and I'm not quite sure why I haven't really played with these quite yet. Again, any of these palettes, if you want to see a dedicated video on you guys, leave me a comment down below and let me know which one. The Aura palette, I think this is supposed to be, yes, this was the dupe for the, what was it called? The Prism palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is such a unique palette. I remember I really wanted that one. When it came out, I almost bought it, but I saw that there was kind of like 50-50 reviews on who liked it or not, so I just never bit the bullet and bought it. I will have to play with that one. I have used Retro Love. I'm gonna be totally honest and unfiltered with you guys. All these palettes that you see from Bad Habit were sent to me from Shop Hush. I like all of them so far, obviously, except the ones I haven't tried yet. But this Retro Love palette is a complete fail. I don't know what is up with this formula. When I haven't even touched this again because I originally purchased it myself. I ended up giving it away. It is just it's garbage. I don't know what it is. It doesn't blend. It pills up on my eyes. It's the strangest thing. The 2 or 3 metallic shades in this are bomb. Metallics are usually a little bit easier to formulate, but the mattes in this palette, I don't know. Everyone was saying that this is so much better than Subculture. This is so much better than Subculture, which this is an obvious dupe for, if I didn't mention that already. It's no good. It's just a bad formula. You know, some of the other stuff from Bad Habit is so good, like the Aphrodite palette and the Athena palette. So good. Cream of the crop. Love those. Another favorite that is near and dear to my heart from Too Faced, this is the Just Peachy Mattes palette. I will forever have a love affair with this palette. The scent is like the best thing ever. I love the whole peachy line. I think the packaging was so adorable, so cute. I love the scent. This palette is amazing. If you are looking for warm tone peachy mattes and you want a one and go or a one-stop shop, a one and go, is that even a saying? A one-stop shop of mattes, this is it. I love the layout. I love how it kind of goes from light to dark. It almost looks like an ombre right in the packaging. You get a huge mirror inside. The packaging is adorable. I love this palette. I love this palette so much. I'm never going to get rid of it. All right, we have just a couple here left to go. This is the limited edition. Well, it was supposed to be limited edition. You can still get it. I bought this over a year ago. This is from Lorac. This is the Beauty and the Beast palette. I don't reach for this one very often, but I will tell you, these shades are stunning. I did use this quite a bit when I first got it. The formula is beautiful. I don't really know why I don't reach for it more, because it really is good. It's a solid formula. These shades are beautiful. I love the color story. I love the packaging. My God, this is stunning. It's just like a book. It even has like a little, what do you call this? A bookmark in it. Wow, you can tell I read a lot. But yeah, I think I just hold on to this because the packaging is truly special and I think the shades are unique and it's really pretty and I like having it in my collection. Let's see here. Second to last palette, the Nouveau Neutrals palette from BH Cosmetics. Another banger from BH Cosmetics. I raved about this palette on my channel. In fact, I've got 2 different tutorials up that feature this palette, the initial review, and then I did a neutral look using this palette. This is gorgeous. This is on sale all the time. I think sometimes you can get it even as cheap as like $6. You need to get it if you've been debating on this palette because it is so inexpensive. You get blushes, you get eyeshadows, and the formula is stunning. I love it. I love the lineup. It's got beautiful metallic shades. The mattes are buttery smooth. It is just a really, really good, solid palette. All right, you guys, and last but not least, I wanted to save this guy for the very end because it is arguably one of my all-time favorite palettes. It's the Jacklyn Hill palette. Ooh, is she dirty? Because I'm telling you right now, she gets some love. I've even put like a coffee cup on this at one point when it's sitting on my vanity. It's got eyeshadow all over the front of it. I need to clean it and show it some love. But this palette is just, look at this. Look at this palette. Does it get better than this? The mattes in this palette are freaking incredible. They're so pigmented. They blend like insanely. The metallics are so reflective and pigmented. This palette is just the definition of pigmented. pigmented. It's that good. It's beautiful. You get literally every shade you would ever need. This is going to go in with those palettes, again, that if you're looking for just one palette to have in your collection that does it all, it's the Jaclyn Hill palette, the original one with Morphe. It is so good. It is going to be a forever staple, just like the chocolate bar palette. If this palette ever goes bad, or if I start to hit pan or run out, I would repurchase this. All right, you guys, so there you have it. That is my larger eyeshadow palette collection. Let me know what you think about this. Do you own a lot of the same ones of these? Leave me a comment down below. Do you think I need to get rid of some of these? Going through this, I definitely do know what I plan on decluttering. There's only a couple, let's be real here, because they're so good. Most of these are so good. I've gotten rid of a lot of the palettes I don't like, with the couple of exceptions that I talked about that I'm not a huge fan of, that I do need to declutter from this. I don't see myself getting rid of most of these anytime soon. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you liked it. Share it, of course. Be sure to subscribe to my channel before you go. If you love me, ring my bell and hit that bell button. That way you get notifications when I upload brand new videos just like this one. Love you guys so much. Be on the lookout. I'm really close, super close to hitting 5,000 subscribers, which is mind-blowing, to say the least. I always say this every time I hit a milestone. Never thought I'd get here. And if I do get there, holy smokes, I'm going to be doing a super cool giveaway that's going to involve my favorite skincare, my favorite brushes, all that kind of stuff. Kind of something a little bit unique. Be sure to be subscribed so you get an update when that finally happens. I want to say I love you guys so much. I know I say it all the time, but it's so true. I have the best subscribers in the world. You guys are amazing. Even when I make mistakes and trip and fall, you're still there and you stay dedicated, and I can't thank you enough for that. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna hop off camera. I have to clean off my desk because I'm swimming in eyeshadow palettes. I love you guys so much, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.